What's up, everybody? This is your boy Eric from Easy Computer Solutions, and welcome to another episode of an Easy Podcast. Now, this is going to be a strange one because we're going to do this one live, kind
Hey,
of change it up a little bit. I got my special guest in the building, Barry Johnson, in the building. What's up with your homie?
hey, I'm doing well, man. I appreciate you having me on, man. Hey, wasn't expecting to be in line this quick, so I'm just happy to be here.
Yeah, so I mean, one of the things that I thought about when I started this podcast, I thought about that, hey, what I want to do is I want to make sure I get my family in there first, and I look at you, Kimmy, LaShawn, y'all
Mhm.
guys as part of my family, man. So to have y'all on is actually, my honor, man.
Hey,
So
it's our honor too. I want you to know that if it's not, as communicated as it should be, we're honored as well. So
yeah, I mean, one of the things we're going to discuss a little bit tonight, we're going to talk about the Pixel 6, Pixel 6a, Pixel 6,
okay,
Pixel Watch.
yeah,
And but before we get started with everything, let's talk a little bit about you, man. You got an interesting channel, man. You got,
yeah,
Engineer Reacts,
hmm,
right? Currently, man, you got about 34 videos on your YouTube channel.
yeah,
Extraordinary YouTube channel. And look, you know what the good thing? I mean, I see the video that you have that got 20 plus thousand views
yes,
on it, and
yeah,
that's one of your best videos right
yeah,
there. Pixel 6 killer features.
hmm,
Um, and that video was very good. And I mean, you 20K now to put that in perspective, right? Well, 34 videos I didn't see you subscribe. I know you were still
yeah.
on that.
I'm about 1,400. Yeah,
Okay, so
yeah.
1,400 subscribers, 34 videos, and now you're busting, to 20K on 20K views on videos. And then when I go through your channel, I see that your thumbnails, so I mean, very professional, very good thumbnails and everything else in between. And that says a lot for a fresh channel with
Hmm.
1,400, 1,500 views. Because again, when I remember when I had 1,500 view 1,500 subscribers,
Hmm.
I sucked at it, like I really
But
did.
but also remember, and if people are listening, and when you hear this back, the man that is talking to me, that's doing the interviewing, has helped us tremendously.
Yes.
So we've had someone that's been there to guide us and all that stuff. Even through like, just case in point, like right now, I'm trying to get out videos quicker, and that's one thing that you struggle with. You have to
Yeah.
learn how to edit faster and all that stuff. And you just gave me advice just last night about my latest couple of videos that are supposed to be quicker videos, how I
Yeah.
can improve them. So that's one thing that we have the benefit of the doubt is
Yeah.
having someone like you that we can run to and ask questions and stuff like that.
And you know what? When I first started YouTube 6 years ago, I didn't have that. I didn't
Yeah.
have the people that I could go to that would give me that advice. Maybe I wouldn't have 3 years worth of screwed up videos. Maybe my videos could have been a lot better. My thumbnails could have been a lot better. Me doing some boneheaded things back when
Mhm.
I was a smaller content creator, I wouldn't have made those mistakes, right? So
Yeah. Yeah.
it's good to pass the knowledge to people, the do's and don'ts of YouTube as you grow in this industry. I think for the most part, a lot of people get frustrated, and I do see some people make hey, I think I'm at my end. I want to
Mhm.
quit. This is
Mhm.
frustrating. You can't win. And I think people go about this YouTube stuff a little wrong. I think the first order of business when you start a YouTube channel is having fun, right?
Mhm.
Doing something that you love and passionate about. And if you're not passionate and if about what you're doing, this would never work for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
And
so
see,
I
go
go
ahead,
ahead.
easy.
And
Well,
I think go ahead, go ahead.
so that's the thing. Like, one someone asked me recently, like, they were like, "Hey, do you want to be? Are you trying to get like huge? Are you trying? What are you trying to do?" And I said, "Hey, I do want subs." And I
Yeah,
said, "But at the same time, I want to make sure that I'm doing my end goal. I enjoy phones.
yeah,
I'm not here to say this phone is bad. This one is. When I look at all these phones, they are dope. At the end of the
yeah,
day, a lot of these, and I have fun with them. So my main focus is to have fun on this platform, but
yes,
also make sure my channel informs people and helps them make decisions. You
yes.
know, so
So I do want to put a plug in here. So would you, the people that's watching this live on YouTube right now, on Easy Computer Solution channel. I'm still fresh, kind of behind the ears with this podcast stuff. This entire video will be ported over to
Oh
Easy
yeah, let me put
Podcast
that.
Video. Okay, so Easy Podcast Video. This will be ported over for the people that didn't know they was going to do this live. This was spare the moment. We just all of a sudden say, hey, let's go live, right? So we're doing this
Mhm.
live, but the audio portion and the video portion will be uploaded to Easy Computer Solutions podcast and Spotify and Anchor. So
Mhm.
make sure you subscribe to both. I will leave Barry Johnson information in the description on both channels so y'all can subscribe to his channel.
Yep.
Um, like last night, we talked about on the live stream. We talked a little bit about the Pixel,
Mhm.
but we didn't really talk about the Pixel 6a, which is coming
Correct.
out in a few months.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, we really kind of focus on the Pixel Watch.
Mhm.
Let's talk a little bit and switch gears about the Pixel 6a. What's your thoughts about that? You don't think Google gonna have a home run on this one?
So I really think the 6A is going to be a 6 that's, reduced in size or what have you. And I think it was a safe way from them, but I would have taken the safer approach and turned the 6, so meaning the 6 would have been the 6A. It would have just been
Yeah.
when I announced at the end of the year, I would say, and we still have the Pixel 6 for people that want to save $100 off the Pixel 7. Right.
Yeah.
But I understand they want to have 2 releases. I think now it's set up to do well. And the reason why I think it's set up to do well is because of Android 13. Android 13 is such a
man.
game changer,
Yeah.
for Google and for other people. Like I can't wait to see what OnePlus does with Android 13. That's how much of a game changer I think it is. So I think they're set up nicely, and they just got to make sure they come at the right price point, like they did this year with the existing Pixels.
Yeah. So I think what happened with with Google is that when the Google Pixel 6 came out, obviously it had a lot of fanfare behind it. It was it was set up for success because of the marketing. The same
Correct.
thing that's going on with the Pixel Watch.
Correct.
But if you are a Pixel 6 owner and the Pixel 6a come out, the same design, same, Tensor chip and everything in between for, just say $599 or well, got to be
Well, it's
whatever
gotta
the
be
price
cheaper, right?
got to be cheaper because the
Yeah, yeah.
Pixel 6 is $599. So it has to be $499, maybe. I thought it would be $350 or something like that. That's going to be super low, especially with the current Tensor processor. Obviously, the rumor has it that they're going to go 6 gigs of RAM instead of 8, which with stock Android is still going to be a nice size and fast device. Now, when it comes down to cameras, would you think Google will dummy down the cameras since they're going to go with a cheaper price, or are they just going to just port over the same cameras over?
I think they're going to dumb it down. I know they have the money to eat that loss.
Yeah.
But why eat the loss of something that you're going to sell anyway, right?
Yeah.
So I think they're going to dumb down and that's one thing that kind of disappoints me. And I could be wrong, but I think they will have a weaker camera array in there. It'll still take great pictures, but I think it'll be a weaker camera array.
Well, I mean, I think rumor has it they was going to have the Pixel 5a cameras in there, right?
Correct.
So I think that's going to be fine. I think the
I
camera's
think
going to
it'll be
great.
good. Yeah. It's just right now, Easy. I think a lot of times, like you take pictures and you like, hey, let's compare. The OnePlus takes great photos, right? But the trend is to basically just slam off a general principle the OnePlus, right?
Yeah.
So one of the things that you see when you delve into the details is the old sensor, the old Sony sensor on the 5 series and the before that didn't have the depth of field that you can get on the Samsung GN1.
Right.
So that's a difference. So but at that price point, it's fine.
Hey,
It's fine.
I think, look, I said this in my Pixel 6 video, and I think, a lot of people kind of got the wrong perception when I talk about design. I think the Pixel 6 design is excellent. Well, and I did this. I did a test run. I took the Pixel 6 and I showed it around a couple of, most of the people are iPhone fans that's, that I kind of talked to. And I showed them the Pixel 6. And like I say, if I showed it to 10 people, 9 out of 10 didn't like the design. I like the design because I'm a tech enthusiast, but I wanted to get the input of the average consumer, right? I wanted to ask the average consumer if you had a choice to pick this device or a device that looked normal, like a normal smartphone, right? And
Mhm.
9 out of 10 will pick the normal looking smartphone, like the Galaxy, or maybe even if you look at it like a Motorola or something like
Mhm.
that,
Mhm.
versus the design. And I think that design has to grow on people because
Correct.
a lot of people kind of looked at that design like, "Ooh, look at the back of that. I don't know about
Yeah,
that." And I
like the
think
camera bar. Yeah,
the
it I
camera
remember
bar,
when
right?
even the techies that all kind of universally love it. I remember a couple of them like, "Oh man, this looks like, Star Trek."
Yeah,
They were saying all kinds of stuff, but then even those people kind of like, "Whoa, I like the way this looks." So
yeah.
I agree.
And I think that's going to be Google's challenge. I think Google is going to have to look at it that, okay, if we can't beat them in design, then we could beat them at price and performance. I think that's
Mhm.
the key right there, right?
And
So,
I think they'll be able to beat them in design too. I really do. I think
okay,
they've got a lot of the people from the HTC team, and that's why this phone looks the way it does. And I think HTC, who was had to get killed off by the bigger people, a few years back. They still
yep,
know what they're doing, and I think they can make tweaks over the years. I just think there's been such an overwhelming feedback. Like my feedback to Google was, don't change the design right now.
yeah,
You
hmm,
know what I'm saying? They've gotten a lot of positive, but you're right about reaching the average person, right?
yep. So this is the third episode of the podcast, and I'm still kind of wet behind the ears, and I want to let everybody know that joining this live, that's watching on my other YouTube channel, that welcome. If you want to catch all the podcasts, please go to the Tech Preacher Podcast channel, subscribe, turn on notification bell, and make sure that you listen to the podcast, or rewatch the podcast, and so. Because what I'm going to do here on Easy Computer Solutions channel, this podcast would probably be deleted and ported over to the Tech channel over on the other side. So, or if you listening to this on Anchor or Spotify, thank you very much. I really do
Mhm.
appreciate it. Again, I mentioned this when I did my very first episode, is that it's a learning curve for me. I am committed. I'm all in. I bought new mics. I bought everything. This for podcasting and stuff like that. So it's going to be wonderful, guys. I promise you. It's we will have some fun doing these podcasts. But I just wanted to put that plug in. But one of the things that I do want to share is that when I met you, Barry,
Mhm.
while it's been, I don't know, I lose track of
Yeah,
time.
yeah, it's been a while now. Yeah.
And looking at your YouTube videos when I first met you, and now
Mhm.
looking at your YouTube videos now, you've made 100% improvement over what you've done. And I know I had some input in that and stuff
Mhm.
like that.
Mhm.
Talk to you about video editing
Yeah,
and
yeah.
showing off his uh, B
The
rolls and stuff
product and
like that, the
B-roll and stuff
product and
like that.
stuff
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that.
Mhm.
And I think you've been doing a fantastic job, man. When I look at your thumbnails, I got your YouTube channel pulled up on my other display here, and I'm looking at that. You really pay a lot of attention to details, and that's one of the things I want to talk about for the newer content creators, because I mean, you know, sometimes you need that information, that help to get you to the next level, right?
Yes.
And it's
Yeah.
it's very difficult. And listen, for the newer content creators, you cannot do it by yourself. Like, you can't do this by yourself. You could
Mhm.
try, but
Mhm.
nobody to help you, or nobody to give you feedback and input and stuff like that. And you think you go do this all by yourself without getting some kind of feedback from other content
Mhm.
creators, or having being in a community of content creators. You just can't. And they got a few content creators that believe that they can all grow without being in the communities, without doing this and without doing that, and it hurts them, right?
Mhm.
Because being naive won't help you in this business.
No. Yeah.
So what made you focus more on pixels and international devices and stuff like that?
What for me, so I'm a big Pixel fan, and it's in my use case, right? So I'm
Yeah,
talking about what I know, right? So like, I always am gonna have a Pixel as probably my main, just because of the features that it has that I use on a daily basis. But for me, I think we have enough people talking about Apple and Samsung. I really
yeah,
do. And I think people kind of miss out that a OnePlus is actually a really good product.
Yeah.
A Vivo is a really good product. A Xiaomi is a really good product. So I know from an SEO standpoint, I know from a growth standpoint that it will inhibit my growth because I'm not, giving I'm not feeding the algorithm Apple and all that stuff, but it's something I'm passionate about. And I just like the onesie twosie, like, man, I didn't know that phone could do that. I
Yeah.
thought this about a foreign phone, I thought, or an international phone. So,
Yeah.
like Big House is in the chat now. Like him and
Yeah.
I have talked about Xiaomi for a few years now, and I've had a great experience. So that's kind of the reason why
Yeah.
I do it.
And so when we talk about international phones, it has its pros and cons, right? The international devices give you better bang for your buck as far as give
Hmm.
you a good cost for a product that
Hmm.
gives you everything in the box. You get cases in the box. You get it. Sometimes you get screen protectors. Not only that, but you do get chargers in the box, charging cables, and everything else in between. So you do get a lot of pros with international
Hmm. Hmm.
devices. But here in the United States, it does come at a kind. If
Yeah,
you
yeah.
on, just say AT&T, let's
AT&T,
talk
yeah.
about that for a
Yes,
second, right?
correct. Yeah.
AT&T has become the Death Star for real when it
It
comes
really
down to
has.
international
Yeah.
devices, and that concerns a lot of people that really want to, go on a international site, or maybe AliExpress, or maybe a trusted person on eBay, or even importing from Amazon, because you
Hmm.
can't buy international devices on Amazon. And the problem is, if you're on AT&T, well, Sprint is no longer with us, but if you're on AT&T or maybe Verizon, you definitely got to understand that AT&T won't allow you to put an international device on their network. And that's a shame. Now, a lot of people
Now,
was
can I
saying
just
that
say
they,
this real quick,
yeah,
easy
go
too?
ahead.
So this is another reason why, like I respect you, because what you're saying is this, and people need to heed this warning. There are a lot of people that are listening to this podcast right now live, and there's also going to be people that they thought AT&T was cool with their Xiaomi,
Mm,
and then after a few days they cut it off.
yeah,
So you really need to make that decision when you go with these devices, like you're saying. Just eliminate AT&T. It might have the bands that support it, but at any point they can enact that whitelist because AT&T wants to sell you a phone that they
yes.
have in their carrier store, and they
And
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 they made it clear.
and to piggyback off that a little bit, I'm in LG communities, right?
Hmm.
And the number one issue with LG devices is that if they bought LG Velvets and stuff like that on AT&T, and they got it unlocked and they moved on to another carrier, or they don't have AT&T service no more, they decide to use their devices on Wi-Fi only. Here's the problem: you get no security updates, you get no updates at all. So I know a lot of people that got LG Velvets that's
Hmm.
still sitting on Android 10, while everybody else got the luxury of Android
Correct.
12
Correct.
because they got AT&T branded
Yes.
devices. And then when they reached out to AT&T, they tell them you have to have service with us in order for us to support the device. That's a damn shame. I
Yeah.
don't like that. That's
That's ridiculous.
and so what happened is a lot of people blame LG for that. You can't. They said, well,
Yeah.
LG hasn't pushed out the update to my device. And so when I get those type of comments, I ask them what carrier you on, what did you buy that
Hmm.
phone from? And 99% of them tell me AT&T. Then the second question is, okay, do you have current service with AT&T? And 99% of them would tell me, no, they don't. Well,
Yeah.
that's the problem,
Yeah. Yeah.
unfortunately.
It is. Yeah. So yeah, so that's one thing I always, I try to caution people. If you have good T-Mobile in your area, then you're a really good candidate for a international phone. And I think you'll
Yeah.
be surprised. Like some of
Yeah.
the phones that are coming out that I've
Oh,
had on
yeah.
my channel that I have no issue. And I think the S22 Ultra is one of the best phones of the year. And I still rank a few Vivos over it that I've
Yeah.
used. So
So, when we talk about like, and it's a shame, even in the United States, when we look at our current state of devices, right? 99% of most people on YouTube tech reviewers, they talk about
Mhm.
two brands,
Yeah.
right? Apple and Samsung.
Yeah.
They make a flood of videos about those two
Mhm.
brands. And so when other content creators kind of veer off and say, I'm gonna do some international devices, or maybe I go into the Motorola or stuff, the comments change a little bit. And I noticed that in my comments,
Yeah.
people has this fixation that if it's not Apple or Samsung, that no other device can beat it. And
Yes.
we finding that that's not the case, right? And I've been
Yeah.
doing reviews for a very long time.
Correct.
I pulled out the devices that really give you better bang for your buck. And so what I've been doing with my comparison videos is I've been doing a point system. You
Yeah.
won or you don't win.
Yeah. Yeah. Correct.
And so what been happening on my comparison videos is that the older devices been mopping the
they've
floor
been-
with
yeah.
the newer
Yeah.
devices,
Correct.
right?
Yeah.
And why is that, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
Well, because the features are being removed,
Mhm.
right?
Yep. No
Instead
SD
of
card. In a
SD
lot of
card.
phones. Yep.
Remember, in 2021, you had 256 gig devices. Now in
Yep. Now it's
2022,
128 is
it's
back.
128.
Mhm.
In 2020 and 2021, you had 12 gigs of RAM. Going into 2022, you got 8 gigs of RAM.
Mhm.
So now you have a difference of features being removed
Mhm.
and stuff like that. And so that's why your older devices are beating your newer devices,
Mhm.
because your older devices was powerhouses.
Yeah.
It's not all about the processor all the time,
Yeah. No. Yeah.
but yeah, it's one of those
And that's
things,
one
man.
thing too. I think
Mhm.
I'm gonna show on my channel because I'll be getting now I've been kind of waiting, but I'll be getting some more international devices, and I'll show like how even with the Samsung made Snapdragon 8 Gen 1, even from the
Yeah.
beginning of the year, they weren't throttling like they were over here.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
they had put provisions in so they could have more sustained performance where you were actually getting this was a better upgrade to get the Snapdragon 8 Gen 1 than an 865. And that's sad that we over here don't get the same benefit on some of the devices that we've had.
Well, let me ask you this question:
Mhm.
the reason why we don't get the same benefit is because we have settled.
Yes, that's what it
That's
is.
the point,
We have settled. And the thing is, we don't demand as a consumer base, we don't demand, hey, there's been times when you're like, chargers in the box, they're gonna take it from
Yeah.
the TV. Easy. They ain't gonna take it. They're not gonna pull it up from the you have to buy a cable for your TV. They're not gonna do this. They were saying they were gonna pull the charger out of the box when you were saying they're about to take the charges from the box.
That's right.
And it's because we are not holding the companies to the fire, and we
Yeah.
have to do that as a consumer.
And you know what's so funny is, and I talked about this years ago, right? And a lot of people be saying I don't know what kind of prophet I am, but I seen the trend of
Mhm.
how the things are being removed. I talked about this a year ago, 2
Yeah.
years ago, about chargers being removed from the box.
Mhm.
And now I've been saying lately that televisions and stuff like that, they're going to start removing the cords and all these other things are going to be removed and stuff like that. These items could cost extra. So how can we fix it? Well, we utilize our platforms to complain about some of the things. And look, don't get me wrong. I was foretold that somebody from LG watched my channel a lot, right?
Okay.
Because I made videos about LG, and I talked about probably about 3 or 4 days ago. I talked about how the LG device, the V60, was left out of the list of Android 12.
Android 12,
and
correct.
And I kind of slammed LG a little bit.
Mhm.
And like 48 hours later, Android 12 popped up on. And look, I don't know if it's coincidental.
Yeah, but I know, but yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
But it was just 24 to 48 hours. All of a sudden, Android 12 popped up on everybody's V60s and stuff like that. So I take that in and say that, okay, we as content creators can make a difference. We can,
Mhm.
hold company feet to the fire, because we have to be consistently
Yes,
talking about it.
correct.
And if we don't
Correct.
talk about it, if we don't tell them, if we don't hold these companies accountable, Stuff like no charges in the box, taking the headphone jacks, no IR blast, 128
Mm-hmm.
gigs of storage. All this other crap is the norm, and we
Is
have
the
to
norm.
take a stand for it.
Exactly. And it's funny because like right now, if I want an IR blaster, I got to go
Oh,
for like a cheap Xiaomi or something like that to get an IR
yeah,
blaster, as opposed to I can't get it on a Pixel. I can't get it on the iPhone. You know what I'm saying? I can't get
yeah.
it on these domestics. So
Well, one of the and look, I watch a lot of YouTube videos, so I watch a
yeah.
lot of content creators from the big channels to the small channels, and I'm seeing the trend. If the big channel says law, then you started seeing the smaller channels trickle down and start believing
Yeah,
what
yeah.
some of the without having an independent mind.
Yeah.
You have to have.
It's sort of like last night when you had asked me. I have my own mind, right? I think the Pixel Watch is going to be a great watch.
Yeah.
I think the Galaxy Watch 4 Classic is a great watch. I love mine.
Yeah.
But my independent mind has told me I can't chill with 2 days of battery life. Barely
Right.
getting 2 days of battery. I'm not going to be charged. And that's me. And I'm not going to, because some big creator is like, hey, do we have an issue with it? Yes, I do have an issue.
Yeah.
You can use that. I just won't. I'll buy it, do a review, and then it will sit in the corner until I use it on a 1 day a week basis. I'm not going to mess around with that. And that's just my decision, right? So I think as creators, and you've shown it, Jay Will has shown it, a lot of these people have shown like we should have that independent mind. Like, why are we all saying the same thing? It's like you have your own thoughts about a product,
And my mindset, and one of the reasons why I started YouTube is because when I used to watch YouTube way back then, I used to see a lot of content creators wasn't telling the truth. I talk about this in a lot of way back in the past. I haven't mentioned it lately, but the reason why I started YouTube is not because I was a tech enthusiast. That's one thing. But I had the same devices that some of these other creators were saying certain things about it. And I got the device in my hand and it was totally different from what I was
totally
seeing.
different. Yeah, exactly.
I mean, give you a point example. They was like the iPhone 3GS, right? That was the best all day battery life. All day. And I'm saying to myself, I'm barely getting 2 hours of screen on time on this thing. Maybe 1.5 hours screen on time. And I was kind of frustrated when I used to watch YouTube because a lot of the things that I saw, I got the device in my hand, and I'm saying to myself, I'm not getting the same thing, and I'm not knocking what that individual was saying, what their experience was, but my experience and their experience was totally different. So I started YouTube to put a voice out there of my experience of the devices that I have in hand. So that's why I started YouTube. Now, don't get me wrong. When I started my YouTube channel, I didn't have no guidance. So, my shit fell off the cliff because it was, I'm trying to do this and mimic this and doing, I was doing giveaways at 1,000 subscribers. That was dumb. So, so this is one of the reasons why I talk to you. I talk to a lot of creators, LaShawn, Gigi, you give y'all guys advice because I promise you, I've been there through the valley of, the craziness of having, a bad YouTube channel, right?
Exactly. I know what you're saying. Yeah.
To where I'm at right now, which I still believe I'm still at the beginning, but it's one of those things that I've grown.
It's a work in progress.
It's a work in progress.
Yeah.
And so to see you growing the way you are, and to see you having the video content that you pushing out, to see the thumbnails that you making, and to see the progress that you making at your early time, it's just phenomenal, right?
Like I said, I give it to you and the crew. You know what I'm saying? It's like Tech Valor. If it wasn't for y'all, like I wouldn't be able to do that. And I know I only have 34 videos, so I'm still still learning how to edit. I'm still learning how to do all that stuff, but. Yeah. So, and there's other great examples. Like I look at El Jefe, Slang, and I'll put Septian as well. Like when we talk about being honest, and I watch their videos, and El Jefe, Slang know, and I'm sure Septian knows too. I can, if they say this sounds this way, I've watched enough of their videos and tested out enough of their thing. Like I know, okay, this is the gospel. So I don't ever worry about it because I don't even research headphones anymore. I just check out the video. All right, I know this is good, cool. I'll get it sounds like this. This guy likes bass. You know what I'm saying? So and that's because they are following that same trend of being upfront and honest with the viewer, not just saying, oh, okay, I got this product sent to me, so I'm gonna say it's the best thing on the planet, you know.
And I think a lot of creators fall off the cliff by, thinking that if they keep saying good things about a product that they was given as a review, that company will be, nice to them and keep sending them our product. I mean, look, you got to be honest with yourself and be honest about the product. I mean,
it's sort of like me, like me. I felt bad, and I would go in. I had people DMing me all the time about the issues that they had with the Pixel 6 launch, right? So I felt terrible, but I wasn't having issues. But I still, with what I had, I have enough. Like to me, the OnePlus absolutely destroys. Even with my fingerprint sensor, I got the first update and my fingerprint sensor was good. I still think the animation is too slow on the Pixel 6. I think they give the haptics at the wrong time. And I think the landing area that you can put your thumb is too small.
Too small, yeah.
So I think if they want to, and this is where I would really put, if I had to review the IQ early enough, I would have been like, Google, on the Pixel 7 Pro, you need to switch to ultrasonic, the Qualcomm based one with the big landing pad, and go optical, but one that's similar to the OnePlus 10, the 10 Pro series in your Pixel 7. You know what I'm saying? And make sure those animations are tight because you got one of the smoothest operating systems that gives you all the feedback. Don't mess it up with the fingerprint sensor.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Like the fingerprint sensor, seeing like you've got to give visual, like as soon as it presses button, have an animation. And then the haptics should come when it's opening up, not like we're like, oh, did I do it? You know, like it's kind of weird, you know. Yeah. So
this finish off with the Pixel Watch, right?
Okay. All right.
Pixel Watch was left at a restaurant.
Yes.
It was a tech.
It was total
guy,
accident. Total accident.
Some guy, a techie, found it. He posted it on Reddit. And all of a sudden now you got images of this watch all, compared to the Apple Watch and to Samsung watches and stuff like that. Is it marketing or is it a mistake?
So I think it's marketing. I think what it is I think Google has heard that Apple fans really want a round. They want a round version of their square, right? So they beat them to the punch, but at the same time, you need to put it out there. They knew, even with the slam dunk design of the Pixel 6, you put it out there, right? And then all the people that don't like it at the beginning, over the months before it's released, they keep seeing this photo and they get used to it.
Yeah.
That is classic marketing 101. You see what I'm saying? So you have the people that like it right off the bat, and then the ones that are like not feeling it, and then they warm up to it. And I think that's what's happening with the Google Pixel Watch.
That's right. And on that note, I want to give a huge thank to you for coming on this podcast. For everybody that don't know who Barrett Johnson is, please go on YouTube and type in Barrett Johnson. I will leave his links down in the show notes and down in the description. Man, go check this guy out. I'm going to tell you, go enjoy his videos. And look, I want y'all guys to do one thing for me, is that when you go to his channel, leave a comment and say, the Tech Preacher sent me over here. And I want y'all guys to enjoy his channel. And hey, I really appreciate you coming, man.
Hey, I appreciate you having me. It's an honor. Like I said, I was shocked when you said, hey, can you come? I was like, okay, all right.
Yeah, man. I mean, man, a lot of fun. Try to keep these podcasts between 30, 35, 40 minutes. I know I'm long-winded, and look, me and Barry, look, we could be talking for hours.
Yeah.
Great conversation. Don't forget to subscribe to the Tech Preacher podcast channel. I will leave that link. Well, I can't leave the link down in the description because I'm gonna take this version of the podcast and port it over. So, but if you listen to the audio version of this podcast on Anchor or on Spotify, I really do appreciate that. I really do appreciate y'all guys listening to the podcast. Another episode in the books, episode 3, baby. Man, Barrett Johnson in the building.
Thank you, sir.
All right,
Appreciate it.
man. Thank y'all guys very much for another great episode. Thank y'all very, very much. And we're going to see y'all next week. Later.